For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to transform a retro dressy granny square into a cropped 70s vintage inspired cardigan. And for the materials, you can use any leftover or scrap yarns you have at hand, and I'll suggest you to use as many colors as you want for a colorful cardigan, and they better all have the same thickness for the cardigan to turn out well. Other materials you need for this cardigan, actually just a 4mm crochet hook, which is the same crochet hook you're going to use to make your squares, and for making your edges, which is a ribbing, you are going to use a 3.75mm crochet hook, whereas just to create your ribbing panels to have closed stitches. You also need a scissor and a measuring tape, but the measuring tape is optional. Plus, I'll also suggest you to have at least some stitch markers. Each square is about 8 by 8 inches. To join your squares together to create 5 pieces for this cardigan, you will need all your wrong sides out, of which you're going to use a yarn needle, and you're going to work only in back loops. And to join, you're going to start in one of the chain 2 spaces in the corners, and here just to continue working in the back loops of each square all the way until the end. This is how the right side of the cardigan is going to look like. So now just continue joining your squares all the way until the end. These are sleeves that I have joined off camera, and as you can see, this is how between granny squares your things are going to look like. Make sure at the end, before you cut off the yarn, try to fully secure your yarn like that before you cut it off. So since these are just front panels, so which means I'll just end here. Go ahead until you have fully joined all your pieces together to create 5 panels. The back panel consists of 3 by 2, which is 6 squares in total. Our sleeves are made of 2 by 4, which is 4 squares per sleeve, which gives us 8 squares in total for both sleeves. Each front panel consists of 2 granny squares, which gives us a total of squares for both front panels, and which gives us a total of 18 squares for the entire cardigan. Each square is about 8 by 8 inches. Once you have fully joined all your squares together to create 5 pieces, which means to join all your pieces together to create the cardigan, which means you're also still going to use the same method you have used to join your squares together. Actually, you're still going to do the wrong sides out. Like you can see, this other side I have already done it off camera, which is the cuff, and the other cuff I'm actually going to do it on camera, so I show you how I have done the other one. And I'm going to use a different yarn color, but if you still want to use the same yarn color that you have used for your edgings or for one of your squares, then you can still just go ahead. You can pretty much use any yarn color of your choice. In my case, I don't have enough of this color, so that's why I have switched to another color, but always try to make one more round first before you start making the ribbings. And before you start, just try to find out which part is going to be here inside your arm or whatever it's called, somewhere here. So like as you can see, so this is the part that's going to be under your arms and on the side of your cardigan, so which means you're going to start here. So to do so, just make a slip knot, and you're still going to use this same crochet hook, which is a 4mm crochet hook. Just start in this chain 2 spaces, one of them actually. Chain 1 to fully attach the yarn, then make a single crochet back into that same space, and continue making single crochet in each stitch around, to make sure by the next time you are going to do the ribbing, it's going to turn out right. Once you reach the end here, just try to slip stitch on top of this first single crochet stitch you have started with to join your work. Now chain 8. Once you get 8 chains, now try to flip your chain like this, because now you're not going to work into this regular chains. You're going to work into these chains at the back here. And to do so, you're going to start working into the second chain from the hook, not this first one. The first one you have to skip it and start working into the second one. And you're going to do so by making half double crochet. To make half double crochet, yarn over inside the hook into the second chain from the hook. Yarn over like this, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and just do the same thing in each chain all the way until the end. At the end, try to make sure you have a total of 7 stitches. Then next, try to slip stitch into this next stitch. Skip this next stitch, slip stitch into the next one. Chain 1, then your work. Now you're going to work into back loops only to create a perfect ribbing panel. Yarn over into this first stitch, half double crochet, but you're only going to work into these back loops except the last stitch, because for the last stitch you're going to work into both loops. For this last stitch, grab both loops to avoid your work from overstretching. Chain 1 before you turn. Now make a half double crochet into this very first stitch from the hook, but still try to work into back loops only. And just make sure you're sticking to 7 stitches. Once you reach here, slip stitch into this next stitch. Skip the next stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch, and that's just the pattern you're going to repeat all the way until end of this round, or actually until you have fully worked around your cuff. Actually coming to meet you once I reach this part to come show you how I'm going to join my pieces together. edgings around the front pants as well as the bottom part of the cardigan. Actually, just try to start off the same way you started with when you have made the edgings for the sleeves, but this time around start just by working all around until the end. At the end, you can cut off the yarn and try to make another slip knot to start working at the bottom part of the cardigan first, and just try to do the same thing as you've done for your sleeves by skipping those stitches all the way till the end. Just try to work on the edgings for the bottom part of the cardigan before move on the edgings for the sides of the cardigan. And for your all edgings, actually just try to repeat the same edging pattern you have used when you have made your edgings for your sleeves. Once you are done with the edgings for the bottom part of the cardigan, now you are going to start working into the very first stitch of the edgings for the bottom part of the cardigan. Try to chain 8 or 5, just depending how wide you want your ribbing panel to be, and just try to continue the same pattern you have done for the edgings of the sleeves and the bottom part of the cardigan all the way until the end of the other bottom part of the cardigan, which is the ribbing panel on the other side, the last stitch. edgings around the front pants as well as the bottom part of the cardigan. Actually, just try to start off the same way you started with when you have made the edgings for the sleeves, but this time around start just by working all around until the end. At the end, you can cut off the yarn and try to make another slip knot to start working at the bottom part of the cardigan first, and just try to do the same thing as you've done for your sleeves by skipping those stitches all the way till the end. Once you are done with the edgings for the bottom part of the cardigan, now you are going to start working into the very first stitch of the edgings for the bottom part of the cardigan. Try to chain 8 or 5, just depending how wide you want your ribbing panel to be, and just try to continue the same pattern you have done for the edgings of the sleeves and the bottom part of the cardigan all the way until the end of the other bottom part of the cardigan, which is the ribbing panel on the other side, the last stitch.